Oh, yes.
Hello, and welcome to A Celtic World, the YouTube channel and podcast that is made by Celtic fans all over the world, for Celtic fans all over the world. Even those who are not of the human species, such as X-Man here. No, there.
Yeah, wrong way there.
So, from Bannockburn to Banbridge,
Ooh.
Gallowgate to Gwangju, wherever
Yeah.
you happen to be in the world, you're very much part of A Celtic World. And as you can see and hear, joining us for quite a rare occasion on the main show is Dano in faraway Korea. What up, Dano?
Faraway, tragic Korea, man. Of course, we all saw the absolutely horrific plane accident yesterday. That happened right here in Gwangju, man. I mean, it's 1 week of mourning, national mourning, and man, they set up memorials downtown here. It's horrific, man. Absolutely horrible.
Did you get that news in Ireland, Brian? The plane crash in South Korea?
I'll be honest with you guys, I don't watch the news. I come back onto Twitter for a bit of triumphalism over the last couple of days, but I don't. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, there was a horrific plane crash in Korea. Coming back from Thailand.
Jesus.
Jeju Airlines, 180. What were the precise numbers? Like almost everyone died.
Yeah, 182 passengers, 180 died.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, you sent me via Twitter, Gav. You sent me the footage of it, man. It's unbelievable that anybody survived that thing. I mean, it's just skidding down the runway like a can without any landing gear, and oh man, it's just horrible. So yeah, it's been a rough 24 to 48 hours here as far as the mood, man. Awful.
Well, let us lighten the mood by talking about being Celtic supporters, because that's quite the opposite. It's a wonderful time to be a Celtic fan, and it's a wonderful time to say hello to everyone in the chat. Here's Monty. He says, "Good morning, Dickie. Hope you and the family had a nice Christmas." Didn't have that nice a Christmas, Monty, but if you'd tuned in for the last show, you would have seen that one of the highlights was me watching 10 Rillington Place. Finally got around to watching that movie where Dickie Attenborough apparently looks like me, but he plays a very twisted psycho landlord. But I enjoyed it, so thank you, Monty, for that. A little bit of festive spirit, festive cheer. Who else is there? Christophe is wishing us all very happy Christmas, New Year. Tam Mac, Craig Young, G-Doc. Too many to mention.
Oh,
let's get on with the show. Brian, I haven't asked how you are. How was your Christmas? Did you overindulge?
Of course, yeah. I thought it was a good idea last night after, when you run out of booze and you, like, I'll make a Captain Morgan's and Schlur.
Oh yeah, everyone knows that.
Classic combo.
And then I thought it'd be a good idea. There's a wee bit of Christmas pudding in the fridge. I'd be ashamed to throw it out. So I had that last night about midnight.
I'm
feeling it here, man. Feeling it here. So yeah, just like a libertine, you know what I mean? Just you put it down, I'd eat it or drink it or.
Okay, let's not finish that thought.
Even.
All right.
That's that could be the Banbridge Captain Morgan's, you know.
Well, this is what's on the menu for today, Brian. We're going to talk, obviously, first of all, about the widening gap. Then we'll talk about the game that we've just witnessed. We'll talk about the Rangers meltdown and preview the up-and-coming Glasgow derby. And a little bit of Celtic socials if we have time after that. So there's plenty to be talking about. So, well, let's start, shall we, with revisiting this nonsense where we haven't spoken about this, obviously, amongst ourselves. You saw this in the Daily Record, Keith Jackson talking about the mini Celtic wobble opening the door for a reinvented Rangers. Well, how does that look now if we start, Anna? Those look like sage words.
Sage prescient words. Absolutely. I mean, just one of those things. And, it's one of those things that makes the internet great because it doesn't forget And even a week later, you know, back in the day, you know, before the internet pervaded everything, you know, people would forget or whatever, or they just ignore it. Even the writers themselves would be like, no, I didn't write that. You know, they just gaslight everybody. Can't do that anymore. And yeah, just absolutely brilliant. Love it.
It's just a gas, that film.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, and the way the press joined in with the whole madness was crazy, was it not, Brian?
It's the usual stuff. They're trying to make they're trying to make stories out of nothing, you know. And you can see Rodgers in his press conferences, he putting a wee sort of not a wee sly dig in, but he's saying, you know, things like, "Oh, sure, we're not playing well and we're not scoring enough goals," and the media just exposes the media for what they are. I mean, Daily Record, that group, it's just a rag. No one reads it, and any fool can see. And it's brilliant because Her Majesty is coming out, and they're just hanging on. They've lost everything now because they've lost their alleged title. Now they do have the best stadium in the world. I saw that on something. But they've even, you know, they've lost all these, you know, titles and records and all the rest of it. And even the poor Queen, God rest her soul, is coming out saying how these orange walks and all this, a lot of nonsense. So it's brilliant. It's great to be alive, you know, and yeah, just let's keep going. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I just wanted to touch on that just so we could mark it, you know, because we didn't really talk about it on previous shows. The way the press bought into this whole thing, calling Frank O'Connor and everything, when they were baying for his blood, even though he was like the third or fourth in line to make a decision after the referees and VAR. Quick question here. This is from glasgowceltic. Total change of tack here. Would Paddy McCourt make our team now? He asks. That was a big question going on down the Cardiff CSC. He says, for me, always space on the bench for a Maverick, but don't think Rodgers wants that. Would Paddy McCourt get a sniff, do you reckon, these days?
It's hard to say, man. It's hard to say. I doubt it, honestly. But you know, he was one of those players who kind of had a bit of magic in his locker. So I know Brennan kind of appreciates that, but would he have the mettle to make any kind of lineup or even the bench? Yeah, I'm gonna go with Castro on that one. I don't think he would.
I think that era is gone now. You know, the messing about Charlie Mulgrew, you know, Chris Commons, Wacky Lenny. Just now, he wouldn't get near the team. I love the Derry Pelly. I love Paddy, and he's been on the show. He's a fabulous player. But I just think that whole you're like Lee Griffiths was a fantastic player. But you know, once Rodgers realised that he was up, you know, had to pull him out. But I think those days you need to be a 7-day-a-week athlete. And Paddy, you know, God love him, he doesn't have it. I don't mean he doesn't have it. He's a brilliant player, but he just doesn't have the athleticism required. You imagine trying to press, discipline maybe, and the press.
Yeah.
You know, because that's we're all about. It's all about the team now. It's not about the individuals. You know, but it's always good to have a flair about the place, as the saying goes.
Yeah, I just think he was already born into the wrong era as a player. He was a bit too late. He should have been 10, 15 years earlier.
Yeah.
He would have been an absolute world beater. So the way the game has moved on since then, it would be even further, you know, the wrong time for a player of his undoubted genius. But that's a little question anyway, as an aside, right? We're inching closer to talking about the game just before we do. It's good to have Brian here for this one. The not goalkeepers, the referees are not professional, right? They all have jobs or other demands on their time. This is the guy who refereed the game. I don't even know his name. Does anybody know his name?
No.
Well, I was wondering what other job he has. But if Does he by any chance host Catchphrase? He's very like that guy, isn't he? He looks a lot like him.
He does. Are they cousins?
I don't know who the guy is who hosts. Did you watch Catchphrase, Brian?
I don't watch anything on ITV. It's all sort of jobs for the boys kind of thing. It's you're on Celebrity, get me out of here, and the next thing you know, you're presenting this morning, and I've no interest. It's just, hey, guess what? The Queen died, but hey, you can win £5,000. They're just whatever. It's just that's why I don't watch the news or do mainstream. But anyway, grumpy old man.
It's never been the same since what was the previous host, the guy from our part of the world?
It's good, but it's not right. Roy Walker. Says you see it, Roy Walker, God rest his soul. He's still alive, isn't he? He's still knocking around. He was in Phoenix Nights. He was very funny, man.
Slow talker, Roy Walker. All right, let's get on with the game then. We'll just run through just a few incidents.
One for the kids, Gav.
What's that?
Roy Walker.
Yeah.
Our younger viewers.
Keep it hip.
keep it current,
Yeah, right.
Okay. Well, currently we're talking about the most recent game, which was against St. Johnstone. And loads of things happened. I've got a few stills here, mostly of the goals. Obviously, we won 4-0. And someone we're going to talk about a lot is Arne Engels, I would imagine. Now, how come he didn't score this, Dano, at the start? This was the first great opportunity, I think, in the game.
Yeah. I mean, I think he was trying to chip the keeper and just blew it, to be honest.
Chip the keeper?
Maybe he was trying to put it in the air somewhere rather than, he just completely flubbed his shot is the basic end of that. But yeah, how he didn't have a goal. He was unlucky on other attempts. He had an absolute bullet into the goal, but the keeper made a great save. I mean, St. Johnstone's keeper yesterday had a pretty goddamn good game. We should have ran out of there 6-0, 7-0. But yeah, I don't know how he didn't score there. There's really no excuse. He obviously didn't do what he wanted to do, is basically the answer.
Something odd happened. You remember this moment, Brian?
I'm looking at my notes.
Go ahead then.
I can't see the still.
Well, it was the one at the start where I think Hatate maybe released Yang. Yang ran through and then played a lovely little ball right into his path. And you just knew it was a goal until it wasn't.
Yeah, still got the Engels shot on the screen.
That's what we're talking about.
Oh, we're talking about that.
Yeah,
it's again early enough in the game. Missed it, Let's move on. You know me, you didn't see it.
Maybe should have squared it to Kyogo too, but
I could have scored there. I see a lot of people in the chat are dancing around little quotes from Roy Walker. In fact, the exact quote was, "It's good, but it's not right."
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
Some Mandela effect memory going on with the chat.
Mr. Chips knocking one out was classic telly. Have you seen that clip where they keep taking away squares and he's there like,
oh jeez,
guys, I know it's
that.
Have you seen the new Bullseye? Oh my god, woeful. There's a new Bullseye on, and Freddie personality Flintoff is presenting it.
Oh
my god. And he was, that accent he was in Top Gear, God love him, his face is all, it's almost like he's had a stroke. He's like, not that I'm any oil painting, but it's brutal, absolutely brutal,
Right, well, let's get back to the game.
You should have got you on, Gav. But
let's stick to what we do best, talking about the game. This is, what is this now? Remember this moment?
Finally scoring, right?
It's Yang.
It's Kuhn. It is Kuhn scoring. That's right.
Yeah.
So it was a Tate laid it off to Kuhn, and he came in from the right side and skipped a few people and then into the right corner. Brilliant goal. I was worried about his feet, the amount of people were coming at him. I thought that somebody was going to break him in two, but the guy's just different gravy. He's just enjoying while we have him,
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
And then he almost did another classic Kun, the classic Kun goal where he gets it on the line and then, skips inside past a few and tries to stick it in the top corner. Keeper, to your point earlier, Dano, did really well here.
Yes. And there was another Engels shot. I can't remember if it was before or after, just a one-timer right at the keeper. And both were very good saves. I mean, amongst others too, not just in the first half, but the entire game, man. This was a very good save.
He was, your guy Ray, the keeper, he was running the clock down from 10 minutes in, wasting time and messing about. The Green Brigade were getting on his back. But yeah, great performance. Great. The great to have the goals around the place, spread among the team.
Yeah, the entire team looked. We looked pretty solid in attack yesterday, man. We looked sharp.
It was a great game to watch. It was really pleasing in so many ways.
Yeah.
One of them being seeing Kyogo back on the score sheet.
Yeah.
Yes.
Talk us through this goal, Dano.
Yeah. Who was it? Was it Engels that got saved, and then Kyogo just kind of cleans it up?
Was it Hatate put it in for Bernardo, and then
correct?
Oh, Bernardo. Yeah.
It looked like something off the training ground, and then Kyogo.
Yeah, and
right place, right time.
Good to see something finally breaking for Kyogo, because lately he's been, he's had a big time duck floating around. This was the first of his brace, and good to see him, Johnny, on the spot right there, and just sweeping in a nice easy goal. You kind of felt like Bernardo was a bit unlucky to not have the goal. It was a beautiful move, but always good to have someone breaking for the.
It was quite windy yesterday at one stage. I remember it was the first half. They had somebody to hold the corner flag. It was.
Yeah.
The conditions were difficult, but we didn't. Make that. We didn't have that as an excuse. We played almost the wind. We beat the wind as well.
Yeah, I think it was difficult in the first half. There was one play where Kyogo's breaking, someone's trying to hit him, and the ball just kind of dies in the air, and Kyogo has to chase it almost to the sideline. But it seems like it was easier going in the second half when we were going with the wind. You know what I'm saying? But it was blustery, man.
Yeah. That moment there with Bernardo, did you notice that he didn't get much of a contact on it, and it allowed the keeper to save it, but it just sort of palmed it into Kyogo's direction, and Kyogo knotted it in.
Right.
And Bernardo was like hands on head in the goal line. Even after the goal went in, he was still thinking, how did I not score?
How did I fucking miss that? Yeah, I know. Yeah. Everybody's running around, and he's still sitting there like, what the hell just happened, man? Yeah. But great. A great sequence, though. An awesome bit of build-up play. It was fabulous.
Yeah. And then is this the next goal? How come I was wondering whether this was I can't quite remember Kyogo's next goal.
It was I think it was a cross from AJ.
Yeah.
Oh, of course. No, it wasn't. It was Engels.
Engels
from the right side. Yeah.
It was like a back to the old Kyogo under Postecoglou.
Perfect.
We had the ball in quick, bang, gone, done.
Yeah.
Not much of analysis there, but brilliant for Kyogo, because the first half I was thinking to myself, this poor lad, he goal disallowed as well. Another day maybe would have been given, but he's had a few goals disallowed recently, and in the last month anyway. And I'm thinking, that's great for his confidence. It's fabulous.
Totally,
especially right before the Derby game, man. Yeah, gotta get him off the duck, man.
And then Maeda's goal, which I see someone describing as the goal of the game. Stephen McGonigal says goal of the game.
I'd agree with that.
Player of the season, Maeda.
I think
he's absolute rock this season. Big game player. Love him.
Yeah.
Just. Yeah. I would nearly get a shirt with a t-shirt with his face or his head on, or he's just that good a player. You know, he's brilliant.
And the assist for this was by the third midfielder. All three of them who started the game got an assist, didn't they? This was by Bernardo.
Mm. Yeah.
So awesome to see.
Beautiful touch from Maeda too, and just cool as you like, right in front of goal. Excellent goal, man. Amazing.
Hatate's playing him, you know, is coming back to his old self as well, which is good to see. He's been him and
Jesus, my lads.
Kuhn always you're like my dog
just slid there.
The Malaysian Bumpus living next to Gav.
Nobody saw that, did they? Because the picture was up. Only you saw me spazzing out there.
Yeah. The picture was up.
Let's pretend it didn't happen. I'll cut it together afterwards and edit it. Nobody will know.
Then what didn't happen? What do you mean?
Yeah, Hatate had a great game. He really looked like the Hatate of old. The Hatate that makes such a massive difference when he plays. My God.
Yeah, man.
Such a massive difference when he's on it.
Yeah.
But there was loads of things we learned from that game. And the graphic I just had up is one that I really do want to talk about, which is Arne Engels. Now, I think Highland Paddy puts it brilliantly here and just says, growing into the shirt. If you can't see it, you're not looking. Now, we've had this conversation in the group chat, didn't we, about Engels a bit. And everyone's putting up his stats of late and saying, you know, this guy's really contributing. And if you don't think he's brilliant, there's something wrong. If you don't think he's, you know, playing awesomely.
Yeah.
Well, that's what people were saying. I was like, well, hold on. Bit of pushback here. Those are his stats. He is contributing in moments. There's no doubt about that. But he's not dominating games. He's not influencing entire matches. You know, he's not playing to his potential. I think ultimately he will. And in this game, he really started to look like the player who does that. Takes a game by the scruff of the neck, keeps getting into good spaces, as the commentators were saying. Did loads right. Assist, beautiful assist.
Yeah.
Was so influential. So I think Highland Paddy's got it there. He's not there yet, but he's growing into the shirt, and he's going to be fantastic.
It takes about a year to become a Rodgers player. You know, it does. Like, you look at Kuhn now compared to Kuhn last season. That's the fact that he came in so early on and took the penalty in the Champions League, the Bratislava game, and then he had a couple of other penalties and he had a few assists, and we were just thinking, here, this is just unbelievable. But it does take it takes about a year really to become a Rodgers type player, and he's well there. He's nearly there. You know, had a wee bump in the road, brilliant. You know, the good thing about having a bump in the road is nobody can. You can have that bump in the road, but you're not losing games. You're winning. You still find a way to win. You know. And win comfortably. We haven't. I mean, when was the last time we had a 1-0? You know, it's 4 or 5 most weeks.
Yeah,
and a couple of goals disallowed for VAR as well into the bargain. You know.
Dano, have you watched Engels in any sort of interviews? Like he did the post-match interview with Kyogo. Don't know if you saw that, but he seems to sort of appreciate the environment he's been given, or he's come into. And I think he appreciates the amount of game time he's got, and he kind of knows he's in this sort of settling in phase, and he's happy over that.
Yeah, and I'm sure the coaching staff as well are just hammering that home to him. Like, look, don't put too much on yourself. You're going to grow into this. We're nurturing you towards a point. You're doing really well. Just don't put too much on yourself. And he does. He appreciates the club. He appreciates the appearances in the Champions League. I mean, for him, this move has been fantastic, and you can tell that he's loving it, man. I mean, just from his interviews. I didn't watch that specific interview, but I did the one after maybe the Leipzig game, and he's loving being at the club. He's loving being a Celt, man. And I mean, he's in second or third gear right now. I think by the end of the season, as the weather warms up, we hit April, he's gonna be really hitting stride and showing what is to come next season. You know what I'm saying?
I think when he was in Augsburg, he was playing one game a week, or maybe an odd cup game. Here it's 2 games a week, relentless, and it does take its toll.
Yeah.
I thought it was great Kyogo speaking English yesterday. It was the first time I'd heard him.
Yeah,
it was real nice move. He just looks like a great teammate, and see him doing the bowing and all that. That's just fantastic. Great teamwork.
Kyogo seems like he seems like one of these guys who would be like an awesome, smart, kind of screwball teammate. You know what I'm saying? There was that story on Open Goal that I just can't get enough of, where he scored a goal against Dundee or something, and he's like, Pokemon, you can't catch me, after he scores the goal to the other players. Like, he seems like a really funny, smart dude, you know what I'm saying? And it's great to see him picking up some English. I didn't see the interview, but I've seen and heard a couple of little flashes of him speaking English. So yeah, must be fabulous for him, but he must be a screwball funny teammate, man, for real.
What did he say in the interview, Brian? Just said he was happy with the game, and he referenced Engels' assist, didn't he? He said the assist was or something like that.
Yeah,
and
just a nice guy,
Yeah. I mean, there's something of the. I mean, he's 30 years old, but when you look at him and the feelings that Celtic fans have toward him, is that he's like, your wee younger brother, some wee 16-year-old wee fella, and bless his wee head. I mean, he's a fully grown man.
I know they talk about him like he's in high school or something, right?
Exactly.
It's quite strange.
I still love the fact that they play that Scooter song, jumping all over the world whenever he scores. I'm sitting there. Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. So lots of events have occurred in the past few days. The last show we had, we were talking about, how many points are going to be between us and them by the time the Glasgow Derby comes around. And will it be 9? Will it be less than 9? Will it be slightly more than 9? And the gap has widened by 5 points.
5 points
since we
spoke. 2 games.
That's more than we could have hoped for.
It's bananas, man. It's bananas.
I watched the last 5 minutes of the Motherwell game, and that Rangers team are all over the place. Your man Cherney, fair play with Tony Watt, who got into the psyche of your guy Cherney. He was like going at him for like 4 or 5 minutes in extra time, just all this kind of stuff. And
he got an elbow in the face from Cherney.
Yeah, but the ref Clancy just gave the 2 yellows. Played it safe, but I just don't think they're. I don't want to talk about them. No, I know I have to, but
no, we do. I'm delighted to talk about them.
It's just no self-awareness. Many times I come on here and say this: no self-awareness. Just somebody in the team needs to say, "Shut the hell up! Do not talk. Do not say a word." It's like Martin. Remember Martin come in the first season? It was like, yeah, we'll do our best to win and keep winning every game and all that. Then we were like 19 points clear, and he says, "Oh, there's still a lot to play for." Whatever it was. They're just shite. They're shite. The entitlement, and they believe they're the people. Fuck off. Sorry. Did that come out?
Right. Am I thinking out loud again? Yeah.
Okay. Well, one man who expressed his thoughts after the Motherwell game was Kettlewell, who not for the first time came out and complained about the refereeing. But I don't know if you saw this moment from their game where Butland punched the ball into his own net and it was disallowed. This is what he's referring to here. He's like, there was absolutely no foul in that at all. Right. And, well, at least he's consistent when he complains about these things. But in his interview, he said, well, he trusts VAR and he believes they came to the right conclusion. Talk about self-awareness. I mean, what was he saying a few days ago? Huh? What have they been screaming?
I mean, if he wanted to piss off more of his fan base with that comment that he already had with their performance, I mean, he did it. Like, I mean, they're just a tinderbox sitting there, and he's just constantly lighting sparks.
And you look
how he opens his mouth, man.
You look how many games Aberdeen have lost. Is it something like 12 in a row, and they're still a point behind Rangers? You know, it's something ridiculous since the
12 in a row.
It's what is it? They will have certainly dropped the last 12 points.
Quite a few.
Yeah, but they're still only a point behind the Huns.
Yeah,
yeah. Well, whenever he does finally leave, the one thing that he can say is, as he faces his final curtain, he did it in that way.
That we make our own downfall 2 games in a row, with conceding goals that you cannot concede in that way, 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 then I would be a fool. So in that way, also in that way. But I need to be smart in that way. In that way, please.
So there you go. In that way. Now, I've also been having this conversation. Oh, this is something that you sent me, Dano, which will stimulate the next bit. No, not that one. Sorry. This is a tweet. When is enough enough? This team are an absolute disaster. Can't defend, can't create, and can't score. No fight, no desire, and no leaders. Hopefully, no manager.
Real anarchist.
Where do you stand on the likelihood of him getting sacked soon, Dano?
Oh, we win. We win on January 2nd. It's got to be curtains. Got to be. I'm hoping against it, but I don't know. I mean, can they actually afford to fire him though? Is the interesting part, because I don't think they can. I mean, it is just the worst possible scenario for those fucks, and may it continue.
They will keep hold of him because there's a Scottish Cup to win, and they're planning for next season. So the real Rangers are coming.
Oh yeah.
We'll not get them this season. We'll get them next season.
Yeah.
They're coming.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I just don't see him surviving if we go there, especially if it's a bad score line, man. But I'm not looking at the books over there. It's gotta be rough. I mean, didn't they just extend him? Like,
they give an extension, yeah.
His parachute would be hefty.
The left back hefty.
But yeah, I don't see him surviving if he loses another derby.
What they would like. This is the ideal scenario for them. I think the Belgian manager is not doing too good at the minute. The Belgian national manager, and if things didn't go the way of the current Belgian manager, that's the win-win situation. We'll get him out. Maybe you can get $1 million for him or something like that. Pay him out of his contract. But their bomb pot, that's brilliant.
That's a very small
by Belgium.
It's a small window of opportunity if that's the only way out for everyone, where nobody loses face.
That would happen.
I honestly,
no way.
I honestly think that he has been told, look, your job is safe for this season. As long as you don't flirt with relegation or something, like just bring it in second place kind of thing, and it'll be fine. And we're not going to sack you. In fact, here's a bumper deal. And if you listen to what he says in press conferences, if you compare to, you can hear that he kind of sounds like that's in his mind when he's answering the questions. And I think he thinks his job is safe. And the powers that be have said to them, look, don't worry about the fans losing their shit. Fans don't make decisions.
Right.
The fans think the board hate them. They might be right. And they certainly don't, they're certainly not going to give them the power to do what they want. Yeah, I think they can't afford to sack another manager. They've still got 2 on the books or something that they're paying off, and they've said your job's safe. This season's gone. We'll give you time. You can buy players, but you're going to have to sell players. Maybe Igaman's going to get sold in January to Everton or something. But then
he's like the only guy
that.
who's playing halfway decent for that.
Well, he looks like a good player. He does look like a good player. You have to say. Lots of potential.
Imagine you're a fan of a club that's happy to come second. You know, because that's what they are. They're the second team in Scotland,
aka last in Glasgow.
Yeah, last in Glasgow. Yeah, but they've you know, as looking at Dave Clarkson saying they haven't paid for Barron yet. You know, because that's still ongoing. There's like not finder's fee, but there's those some sort of fee that hasn't been agreed because he came through the youth system at Aberdeen. But they've no money. They're and Hibs are coming. Do you know something? Hibs are starting to play a bit of football again, which is good to see. And St Mirren. So, yeah,
they're coming on, man. Yeah. And
if I think
that's their next game after us. They got to go to Easter Road.
Yeah. If there are any balls that would give the gig to what do you call the guy from here, Gavin? He used to manage Robinson. They would give it to him. He would have them difficult to beat. We wouldn't be 10 points clear. There'd maybe be a few 0-0s and a few, but he would have them playing well and have them a 5-4-1 system. But no, they'll still persist. They're too arrogant to take a local boy. When I say local boy, I mean somebody from the league.
Yeah, I just think that the powers that be there just recognize the absolute disastrous situation that they're in, and they can't afford to continue sacking managers. And they've said, look, eventually the fans will, realize the extent of this absolute disaster that we're in, and they'll shout and scream about it on the way down. They're not going to like it, but we're going to keep you as our manager. You've got time. See what you can do. Because the one thing football managers don't have these days is time. So even though it's a tough gig, to be told that you've definitely got, the whole season, and no matter what happens, they'll stick with you. It must be kind of attractive to a manager to know that he's got that assurance. If he believes in himself and he thinks he can get the best out of players and get them playing his way,
My worry for us is sorry, my dog's Tara, stop it. My worry for us is Brendan, and we've only literally a year and a half left of him, and that's the perfect storm. If the United job comes available, if there's a job that's just too big, and do you know something, I would give him a blessing to go if he was to go, but who we get in next is my worry. And if there's that moment of we're maybe -5 compared to where we were under Brendan, and they maybe up the game and win another 2 or 3 more points, it could come down to a one-off, a couple of.
I mean, you're really having to scrape the barrel to find reasons to be worried about them.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
don't be worried. This is it.
No, I'm not. No. This is in their head. No. I'm not worried about it. We could put me in charge of that team and they'd win, but it's. That's in their head. They're, as a fan, they're probably thinking, right, we'll write this season off. Rodgers.
They can think whatever they want. They're up the left with their thoughts.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Honestly, these are the glory days. We've got to revel, bask in this.
I wouldn't even worry about that though. The last 2 appointments have been gangbusters, man. Beautiful. So, I'll have a little bit of faith, even if Rodgers leaves January 3rd. I'll still have some faith in the board, man, which I know most people don't. But the last 2 managerial appointments have been fabulous, so keep it going.
Alan Aldo McGregor, Gavs, the only thing that gets better is a week in Pattaya. Well, okay. I don't know. A week in Pattaya, you might have a few more regrets than the managerial appointment.
I don't get this. Is Pattaya like the Amsterdam of Thailand? Thailand. It's everywhere's Amsterdam, Thailand.
You can put it that way.
It's an entertainment venue.
Entertainment venue, yes.
Of the Thai variety.
Entertainment.
I love chicken pattaya. Is that there? Are they something similar? No, am I just?
You're talking about pad thai.
You're talking about pad thai.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. That's a dish.
No,
Pattaya is a city. Yeah. But pad thai is not from Pattaya.
That's what we should introduce to the show. Do you remember they did it last year? They were asking you things like snowballs and tonics tea cakes. You should be, do some sort of challenge.
We could, especially with glasgowceltic. I've spoken to him about this. Why don't we, like Dano introduces us to kimchi or something? I eat some durian, the fruit that everyone freaks out about.
Dude, I'd love to do that, man. I'm a huge stan of Korean cuisine, so I would love to do that.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
Well, maybe make that a feeture once we're so far ahead that the football's irrelevant.
Well, you don't even talk about the game. I didn't even watch
it. Just turn it in.
It's turning into.
I'm nearly at that. I'm nearly at that stage now. I would never say
cultural anthropology with a Celtic world.
Celtic away to Ross County. I might need bar watch. Not I'll mow the lawn. Listen to the radio.
Sausages and snowballs. Yeah.
The rest of the snowballs says who's the snitch. I thought you were back to Pattaya with that reference there, but thankfully not. Craig Young says no. He's talking about the Indian curry.
Indian curry, that Pattaya.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I love that.
Gav was one of the first. That stuff is good too, man. Woo.
Gav was one of the first people years ago. I was on the kebabs, and Gav got a lamb biryani because all you got was a kebab in Indian. Gav had the gastro knowledge to go for a lamb biryani back in the day. I still haven't had one.
I do like this comment. I'm going to throw it up here. As long as it's not North Korean cuisine, because it's so different.
Well, imagine North Korean cuisine would be different. All right.
No, man.
There's no cuisine.
Exactly the same. They've been eating the same stuff for thousands of years, man. It's all the same, man.
I love the fact that you just have
I'm gonna go find
curry
some
for breakfast.
Cuisine.
Curry for breakfast. I've been doing that for years. Left for Chinese. There we go.
You can't get a proper curry here, like an Indian curry, like you would get. When I say proper,
really?
I mean what I'm used to, like back home, in Scotland, England, Ireland, whatever. It's just never hot enough. You have to tell them to make it as hot as hell. For some reason, Indian food here isn't that hot.
Really?
Not quite sure why that is.
It's so strange because
Thai food will blow your head off, and they throw raw chilies on stuff.
Yeah.
But for some reason, the curry. Like if you I had a vindaloo not that long ago, and I had to say, look, make it as hot as you can, and it was still vaguely piquant.
Lukewarm. That's strange because in the States, if you order Indian food, you'll tell them make it spicy, and usually a desi guy or a woman, they'll be like, "Really spicy?"
Sure?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Because I don't know if you know what we consider spicy, and that's interesting, man. I wonder if it's a local taste or.
Well, I don't know. It's just strange. And I think most of the Indian stuff we have here is Southern Indian. So it's like banana leaves with very flavorsome food, not thick, spicy curries. Do a girl a favor there and whip out your X-Man.
He's still chilling on the sofa back here. There he is. He's like, who's waking me up for this shit?
Get your X-Man out for the lads.
There you go. There's the guy.
Oh, look at that face.
Wearing his hoops.
Special occasion, man. I haven't been on a mainstream show for a long time.
That's the first we've been on, Dano, I think, this year.
Oh, man. I was on a few months ago when we had another holiday, but I just can't schedule it, man. I get off work at like 7:10. I'm not home till like 7:30, so.
Okay, we better get it back to the football, lads. It feels like we're chatting on air. It's like we stopped recording.
Or we're not.
Yeah, right.
We're still going.
Right. This is just we're just kind of rehearsing. So when does the show start? Yeah.
All right. So here's the next bunch of fixtures. Let's just feast our eyes on these. Look at those delicious kickoff times for me. So we've got the big Glasgow derby coming up soon. Then we've got home matches: St Mirren Dundee away to Ross County, away to Dundee. Yeah, I meant Dundee United previously, away to Dundee. Then Scottish Cup against Kilmarnock. All those games to go before Young Boys.
Yeah.
It's quite exciting, isn't it, to sort of, do you get the feeling that we're getting through a sort of slightly, no, I'm not going to say our form dropped off and all that, and we've been terrible, we haven't been terrible, but, we went off the boil into sort of a steady simmer, but it feels like the gas is just being turned back up again.
Yeah.
And if we get a good result in this match, the next match this weekend, is it this weekend?
Thursday.
Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could be on for a brilliant run of results to bring us into that Champions League game, Brian.
Yeah, man.
Are you feeling that way inclined?
I think Rodgers will go for the kill. I think he sees that we've got them in their sights. Well, the league's over. I'm going to say that now. And I think he will want to do another 5-0. He will on the back of that, the final. And we won the first half, and then we won the last 15 minutes of the second half, and we should have won it in the penalties and all this nonsense. I think Roger, you could have something like Maida first couple of minutes, and then Kyogo, and then it could be 10 minutes, 15 minutes in, and their fans just walk. It'd be just beautiful. But I would take a 0-0. Just as long as we don't get beat.
Yeah,
but I think they're there for the taking. They're a broken team. For some reason, they're actually winning their games at home.
Their main center backs are both injured too.
I mean, proper flippies.
They don't have defense, man. I mean, we should really.
It's all set up
in the engine to
for
go
us
at
to come away from there with something. But these things
It's a weird
never
place
go
to play,
quite
man.
that way. It's always tight, in their stadium, no
yeah.
fans. Last game with no fans, isn't it?
I think so. I hope so. I'm sick of this.
Hopefully, none of their fans.
I mean, the one thing it's definitely not is a must-win. I mean, it's must because we really want it to happen. And
Right.
it'll help us celebrate more, and we'll all laugh and pat each other on the backs virtually. But in terms of the league campaign, it's definitely not a must-win.
It would be great to win at the best stadium in the world.
Against fans that don't do walking away.
Don't walk away.
Yeah, to walk
That's
away. They're already talking about boycotting the game. Brilliant. Yeah.
So
never surrender until you surrender.
This point here from Lanky: when games come quick and fast, it definitely takes it out of the players, especially the stamina. Was one of the best things we saw in that St Johnstone game, and I know it's only St Johnstone, with the greatest of disrespect, but the fact that we were able to play without McGregor and the midfield looked good and functioned, and everything was in order. That's got to give you some confidence, because there's a couple of things that we rely on too much. One of them is McGregor in midfield, and the other is CCV in central defence.
Mm-hmm.
And you can take out the big players elsewhere and things might still be okay. But the fear is if those two aren't there, it's maybe not going to be okay. And without CCV, at least we've got two decent defenders now that can play there. But it'd be nice to see McGregor play a bit less, wouldn't it? For his sake, for everyone's sake,
I would have
future
preferred
team.
I was thrilled to see him not in the lineup yesterday.
Yeah.
For all the right reasons.
It gives the other guys a chance as well.
Got to water your horses, man. You got to water your horses, especially your main horse. You can't go out for every race. You got to water your horses, man.
That's such an American expression. Got to water your horses.
Water your horses. Yeah.
Is that before or after you circle the wagons?
What am I, a farmer? No fucking idea.
I don't know. You could be a cowboy.
What are you talking about? No fucking.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I guess that I'd say you water your horses before you circle them wagons, man. You know what I mean?
People in the chat there talking about the January window then, and Tierney and Jota and all that. We've discussed it before on the show, not with you guys. But Tierney seems to be happening.
Yeah, I think that's happening.
Yeah.
Didn't Jerry say that he knew somebody who knew somebody close to the early on in the season, saying that Tierney was coming? I think he's gonna buy himself out of the contract and then just either we get him on loan or pay a loan fee, or he's coming. But he's coming back. He's coming. That's done. Why do you think we're not even pursuing Taylor? You know.
Yeah.
KT comes back in there.
He seems to have made the decision, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Well, where's he going to go? What's the future for Greg Taylor?
He might get
championship,
like Brentford or somewhere, or maybe Southampton if they stay up. Or, something like that.
I think he'll get a Premier League gig.
Lower, really lower, like even less.
Championship. I'd say championship.
Yeah. Or you could join the boys in Palma. Have you seen that? It's like a bunch of the Palma team. You've got guys like Ollie McBurney, all these real has-been Premier League footballers are all playing for Palma now. It's like another episode of Off Wiedersehen, Pet. Sort of
Don't start that. Don't start that again in the chat. We'll never get out of an Wiedersehen.
Okay, it's like an episode. It's like an episode of Coronation Street. Whenever Pet Lynch went to Spain.
That's a good callback for all the regular viewers.
For the kids out there.
Brown Warrior here making the point about, Bernardo was fine, but he's no McGregor. McGregor sets the tempo. Sure, that's true, but we can't rely on McGregor for all time. We need some sort of strategy to.
It's great succession planning.
Eventually, and this could be it.
Monty. It's great succession planning, being able to rest McGregor, even Jamesy being injured. It's opened the door for Yang to come in, And I thought Valle had a great game yesterday as well. I think he went about his business very well.
I really like that kid, man.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't refer to the chat anymore because they're making lots of innuendos about sausage.
Yeah, this is the entirety of the drink along nowadays. This is our entire broadcast. It's blessed are
I saw someone congratulating you on the drink along was another roaring success.
I thought it was fun. It was great fun last night, man. The banter was hilarious. So,
I think you should. Can the drink along not be nominated for like a pod of the year or something? Because you get all these freaking. Actually, let me do about homework.
Put a lot of effort into it. Yeah,
put it. It's a lot of work, a lot of hard work. You guys, you're always on time, and
we do have to be on time.
It's a 3-hour episode. The amount of production.
Miller and Beast Garden for pre-contract for the summer. Possibly.
Miller's a good idea. A good idea.
Just get him in and
get him in. He doesn't want to join the dark side either. Get him in.
Why would you?
Fucking give me a break. Get him in. Yeah. Get him in, man. Get him in.
It's funny how everyone's talking about sausages. All these Scottish people are talking about square sausages and stuff like that. And earlier on, we were talking about, what was it? Chicken
patia.
Yeah.
Chicken pad. Well, we thought you were talking about pad thai, and then it was chicken pad thai.
No, I just saw pad thai.
But there is a little thing that I was going to show as part of the Celtic socials, which is like, what the hell are Scottish people doing when this is the kind of thing that they're eating? Chicken pakora and haggis pie. Dano?
Oh.
That sound good?
Haggis? No, man. Haggis. I'm just not into it. I would eat that. Whatever. Just put it in my face. I'll try anything once. Just do it.
Let's clip that.
Put it in my face. I'll try anything once. Who am I bullshitting here, man? Everybody knows me here on the chat. Fuck it, man. Yeah. Okay, chicken pakora. haggis. What is it? A wrap? Sounds all right. Whatever. I'm sure it's a gut bomb, but whatever.
Gav, did you ever go? Have you ever been over? We were over years ago. I'm at the stopover in Stranraer because if Rangers were playing, we had to get the slow boat home and all the rest of it to avoid fighting. I remember getting a battered haggis in Stranraer outside Paul's Bar in Stranraer, and Jesus, see, in 5 minutes, the indigestion was. I was. Nothing to do with 10 pints of cider on night, but or whatever it was.
It's the haggis that tipped you over the edge.
The haggis, the haggis at the damage,
Shit over. That's what I always have problems with haggis. Every time I eat it, man, the indigestion is wild, man.
Haggis neep satates. Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, very good. It was obviously lurking there until the haggis conversation came around.
Everybody was just hanging around, right? Yeah.
Very good. All right. So anyway, the big game is this weekend. Very exciting. What time did we say the kickoff was at?
11 p.m.
It's 11 for me. Okay, and that's
midnight
Thursday
my
night.
time. Thankfully, because I got to work pretty late on Thursday. So
well, that's going to have to be watched, isn't it?
It is.
Oh, you have to do a drink along.
And it's not the weekend. It's Thursday. We got another game over the weekend.
You just have to do a drink along for the Glasgow derby.
Hell yeah, man!
Unbelievable how thick and fast these games are coming, isn't it?
Not skipping the derby for drink along, man. No,
you haven't lost a game yet. You know?
Nope. Yeah, because I couldn't do the Dortmund game, and we ended up not doing it. But yeah, we're still undefeated, so we're putting it out there every game now, man. Got to do it. Got to go. So,
the chieftain of the
can't wait, man. Can't wait. It's gonna be brilliant.
Nice bit of Robbie Burns quote there. You don't get that on every Celtic podcast. We're of a higher echelon, I think it's fair to say.
Rob Seaburn. Rob Seaburn.
No, Brian, come on, don't let the side down. Robbie Burns.
Rob Seaburns. Here, did you watch there's a great show called Only Child. Gregor Fisher's in it. If anybody's got a chance, it's on BBC iPlayer. It's this young, well, he's as young, he's probably mid-30s, and he's coming home to look after his dad. And he goes into the fridge, and there's like mustard that's 3 years out of date. And he's going like, "Don't be throwing that out. There's nothing wrong with it." You know, it just Gregor Fisher, who plays Rob C. Nesbitt's in it. It's quite heartwarming. And Shetland's another one that you should get a chance to watch. Anyway, Leslie, what are you talking about?
Yes.
Are you just I give you a tenner. I'll give you 3 pints there. Leslie the barman, Harry Enfield, another one for the kids.
Right, I'm not sure what's happening anymore.
Wait, where are we?
Always the professionalism, you know. You're guaranteed professionalism with me.
Let's talk about score predictions, Dano.
Derby game. I think Rangers will get one. And then they might get it. They might jump out to a lead for a bit. I'm gonna go 3-1.
Brian?
I'm gonna go the same. I think they'd get a goal somehow. But we have too much in the tank.
I hope.
I think it'll be a 1-0 victory for us. Ooh. And that'll start 2025. Oh no, it won't start 2025 anything.
It will.
Will it? Oh no, it will. January the 2nd.
January the 3rd.
Oh, with the fixtures. Yeah. Really losing track of
time. As the thumbnail of the show says, 2024, and David mentions here, was our Annus Celticus.
Festivus.
Incredible years. Everyone's been pointing out. They said people weren't talking about that enough, but they certainly are now. The fact that we've only lost 2 games in this calendar year. There's 307 people watching right now, which is
I know, man.
It's a very healthy viewing figure for us. So here's a little message to all those maybe who are watching for the first time.
Hello all the Celtic fans. Here in France we love the Celtic world. C'est fantastique. Subscribe. C'est un fait accompli.
Yes, there you go. A little appeal to subscribe if you haven't already. This is only our second season. Yeah. We're pushing hard to get to 2,000. 2,000, that's all we ask. It's not much. You know, other people are like coming up to 50,000 and things. So subscribing to them makes no difference, whereas you subscribe to us.
They're subscribing to these ones, and it's really crap content. It's like they're just reading the Daily Record or whatever, Daily Retard. At least you put really few songs and stuff, and we're scattered around the place, and we've got a bit of good food and haggis talk and all the rest.
Yeah.
It's Christophe.
And that's a tangent.
Parfait.
C'est parfait. It's kind of ironic, man. I actually just took my French A2s. I've been studying for the past like 6-7 months, man. So I kind of wanted to test myself, but yeah. Abonnez-vous.
Thank you, Brian Warrior. Appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, it's completely free. Nothing we make is behind a paywall. So you get silly wee songs, you get food conversations, you get Brian telling us what soap stars he had a square sausage for when he was young. So, and it's all for nothing.
All for nothing. And
it's all a good time. It's just a good
great.
time.
It's great. It's fun. It's you know, and then you can listen back. I mean, I would listen back sometimes, and
just to yourself.
No, listen back to our pods, and not to myself. Who would fuck with it? And I genuinely laugh out loud. It's great for the mental health. It's great not taking yourself too seriously, but it's great. I mean, I'd like to be on with David again if I can. I haven't seen David in a year. If you can arrange it, Gav.
Oh yeah,
David.
Okay. Sure. There's saying hello to Angelo there in Perth. We have a regular contributor from Perth who never fails to give us a weather update. And yes,
Paul.
It's pretty hot there. Well, look, we're way over the hour already, so let's just close out with this message from Brian Warren. Should have way more subs. Hopefully the new year will ensure this happens. Well,
Agreed.
Who's the referee? Who's the referee for the game? Beaton, is it?
No idea.
Beaton, one of the other Blue Loyal Lodge fucks. Yeah, it'll be somebody unsurprising.
It would be funny if it was Frank Connor as referee.
I don't know. That might get him murdered or something.
Is he any relation to Frank Connor, Billy McNeil, assistant manager years ago? Remember the guy used to come in, maybe a nephew or something, or son?
I doubt it. But who knows? Anyway, let's wrap it up, gents. Any final messages before we do? Brian, do you have a final message for all the peeps out there?
Just stay away from the haggis burgers, lads, and make sure you've got enough bread. Not enough for any on the whole. And you know, somewhere when you're having that the first tin of Stella at 12 o'clock, remember it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Very good. Dana?
Be sure to tune in to the Derby drink along. It's going to be pretty bitchin'. And midnight my time. Check local listings elsewhere. Me, Kaiser, and I'm sure a whole menagerie of wild animals will be joining us. It's going to be it's going to be something else to wrap up your New Year's season, kids. So yeah, tune in right here for that. It's going to be a doozy.
All right. Thanks very much, everyone in the chat. It's always quality to hear from you. And thanks very much to Brian and Dano. And next time we talk, it'll be after the Glasgow Derby. So there's going to be tons to talk about. Tons. Oh, yeah. Look forward to it. See you, lads.
Hail, hail, everyone.
Hail, hail.